Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Oaktree TV. I'm Dave Kemp, and today I'm joined by Geoff Cooling. Geoff, say hello.
How you doing, Dave?
Doing well. So, for those of you that don't know, Geoff is the co-founder of Audiology Engine. He also writes for the popular blog Hearing Aid No. And so, I wanted to bring Geoff on today because he is really in the know, and he's also really knowledgeable about this space. And as CES has just wrapped up out in Vegas, he and I have had some pretty interesting discussions around the different technology that has emerged from this show. And so I wanted to bring him on to talk about that. So, Geoff, let's start there. What was the most interesting thing that you saw coming out of this year's CES?
I think there was a lot that really came out of CES, but I think one of the big things that may represent a paradigm change is the fuel cell technology from Widex. I say may represent because there are a lot of questions we need answered. I mean, is the hearing aid Bluetooth enabled? Is it wireless enabled? Can we carry this in our hand luggage? Will the recharging devices be freely available? Like, there's a lot of questions we need answered about this to know whether it's a true paradigm change or a vanity technology. I think no matter what, I think it has its place, even if it's only a vanity technology from that point of view. I think that it has a real place in off the grid places like third world countries, etc., etc. So I wouldn't just write the technology off, but we need to know if it can drive modern digital hearing aids.
No, I agree. I think that the Widex Fuel Cell, and for those of you that didn't see this, this is it's a completely novel new way of kind of battery technology, a way to recharge a battery. The way it works is it's a methanol cartridge, and through sort of a chemical reaction, it's capable of charging a 24-hour battery in just 20 seconds. So it looks pretty amazing. It looks like it could be a game changer, not only for this industry, but for really battery technology as a whole. So I thought that was really interesting too. I would say for me, the thing that really caught my eye is the fact that we're really starting to see biometric sensors make their way into hearing aids. You know, we saw this with Starkey initially with the inertial sensors that they were putting in their Livio app, and the ability to capture the cognitive capabilities as well as the fitness tracking data. And so what we're seeing now is through the company VALENCELL. They have created a PPG sensor, which is the optical sensor that's capable of capturing your heart rate. They've created one that is small enough that fits in a RIC hearing aid. And so this is a really big deal, in my opinion. We're actually seeing Starkey's Livio AI incorporating this type of technology in their device, so that it's able to capture your heart rate. So you can imagine, you know, on the surface, it's great. You can capture this data, but, you know, looking at it from a broader perspective, this is going to allow for managing co-morbidities and just a whole new host of data that I think is going to be really valuable, particularly to the hearing aid demographic, the older generation that tends to, you know, wear hearing aids. So along with that, though, I thought that the other really interesting thing was the personal assistant element. So Geoff, I'll kick it back over to you. What were your thoughts on this whole idea where, you know, we're kind of incorporating this element of a personal assistant built right into your hearing aid?
I think that both, as you said, the biometrics and the personal assistant really change or could change the use case for hearing aids. Personally, I'd like my hearing aids to be my personal assistant. I could really do with that on a day-to-day basis. Um, and I think that many other people would find that really interesting for them in their lives. We're talking about now devices that not, you have to wear, devices that you actually might like to wear. And I think that that really changes what hearing aids are, and the use case for them. I think, though, that with the biometric sensors and those readouts, that will allow the profession maybe to become a central part of primary care. I think, though, the profession needs to be very careful about that. They also need to, understand and shape that as they move forward. Overall, I think we're moving towards uh, integrated healthcare devices as opposed to just hearing aids. I think we need to follow that concept as well to its logical conclusion, and what we're going to do to make that happen, and how we can make that attractive to not just the consumer, but also to um, other primary care individuals, primary care teams, cardiologists, etc.
I totally agree with you, Geoff. I think that this is, on the surface right now, and remember, this technology, it's in its infancy. So, on the surface, it's a little bit like great, that's nice to have, but not a need to have. But I think as this evolves, as this progresses, hearing aids are going to really double as these sort of multifunctional devices that are capable of things like recording your biometric data and being able to record that data so that you can share it with your primary care doctor if if you have a pre-existing condition, or if you're prone to something like maybe a heart risk or something like that. This type of data is going to be really, really important to your primary care doctor, potentially your cardiologist. So you can imagine that this is going to really start to open some doors with ways that audiologists can get more involved in the broader health spectrum. So Geoff, I really appreciate you coming on today. I thought this was a really interesting discussion. Obviously, there's a lot that's coming out of CES. So Geoff, I know that you're writing some articles. Where can everybody find all this great kind of thought leadership that you're putting out?
Generally, most of the stuff goes out in hearingaidnow.com, and some of the stuff goes out on justaudiologystuff.com.
Awesome, cool. So I'll link those in the comments of the video. For everybody watching, thanks a lot for joining us, and thank you, Geoff, for this great discussion. We'll see y'all next week.
Cheers, Dave. Thanks for having me.
Cheers.